Hey, this is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Sorry for the craziness today. First off, I didn't think I was going to stream. Second off, uh, I got a phone call. Uh, the, for those of you who've been watching my channel a long time, know that there's an old lady back in Queens that I take food shopping and I fix up her apartment and everything. I haven't heard from her in 2 weeks. She's 94 years old. I'm preparing for the inevitable, and a phone number has been calling that I've been thinking it's work. So I've been panicking, thinking my job is calling me that there's a problem. And when I call back, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So finally, the phone, that number came up again, and it's our old landlord. It's her, you know. And they're like, "Have you heard from, this woman?" And I'm like, "So the last time I talked to her was 2 weeks ago. I called, and the fire department just happened to be there, and they said, yeah, we're taking her to the hospital." And that was the last I've heard. So 2 weeks, every day I call, twice a day, no answer, no answer. So I don't know what's going on. Now her landlord is getting involved, So she's 94 years old. So I was a little emotionally on a roller coaster. You know what I mean? She's 94 years old. Like, things happen. But anyway, so that's what's going on. So now I want to fight the SuperSkrull. So I'm gonna bring up the board. I put the link in the chat if anybody wants to come in. And I know things are a little wonky. I was just, my stomach. I hope the camera didn't pick that up. And let's move this over here, and let's do that. All right, cool. So, and let's put that. All right, so there we go. All right, so we got everything set up. Drinking coffee while watching while I'm at work. Don't Ernest. What do you do, Ernest, that you could do that? All right, so again, I'm sorry for all the craziness between this. I'm thinking my job's calling me, and and I find out that it's equally distressing, but in a different way, and in an inevitable way, that life happens kind of way, and then the internet being wonky. So I apologize if anybody wants to pop in. Here is the link. I'll put a star on it, so I think everybody will be able to see it. So there we go. There we go. All right. So now we are going to fight the SuperSkrull again, and I hesitate to say OCD because I've never been diagnosed as OCD, but I got a couple of peculiarities. All right. One of them is, if I buy a comic book, I have to read it. Now, I don't have to read it right away, but I have to read it. So I will suffer through bad comics. I have to read. I think in my 60,000 comics, I think there's only 2 that I've never finished. And that bothers me. So that's that. Second, I have to organize my stuff. And third, I have to play a perfect game. I have to play by the rules. I don't necessarily have to win, but I have to play by the rules. And there's a lot of rules in this game, and one of the things that they suggest is that you give everybody a job, and that works really, really well. When you give, especially with kids, this is a cooperative game, so it's a great game to play with kids, because I could take care of the main rules, and then I delegate. You watch for this rule, you watch for this rule, and everybody jumps to enforce their particular rules. There's, human beings become authoritarians when they're given a little rule that only they have control over. It's why governments are doomed for failure. But anyway, so let's start this game. And I still missed out. I made the game easier last time, but I still lost. Okay, so all right, let's go. So the SuperSkrull is he's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. So he goes right to the police headquarters. All right. And at the police headquarters, he has a scheme of scroll decoys. If there is at least, okay, so this card, see, I've been forgetting these rules. These cards actually have extra rules. So it has a target on it, meaning when the SuperSkrull lands on it, this card gets activated. So this card gets activated if there's at least 1 civilian or thug token in this location. Add 1 crisis token to the scroll's dashboard. I've been ignoring that. So here is a crisis token. I left it over from the last. So the SuperSkrull is already launching scams and schemes in the New York City Police headquarters. All right, now I do the rest of it. If the next master plan card has a BAM, he uses the last 2. Okay, so now he's gonna. So that doesn't apply until the future. So now we do this. Now already, this sucks. So he picked the most populated board. He filled it up. There's overflow, meaning we take one of the SuperSkrull's cards and just burn it. We just burn it. And if we go to get a scroll card and there isn't a scroll card, we lose the game. So the SuperSkrull he's fast acted like Tenactin. All right. So now we do that, and then I put a civilian in Central Park, filling up that card. All right. Oh, yeah, filling up that card. So that we do that. We put the SuperSkrull card there. Now the heroes react. So Ernest says, "I'm awesome, never change." Thank you. I got some good Devil Flyer Momentum Rex. He told John Dexter that he loved my comic, and that put me in a good mood last night, because if me and him are the same age, same era of comics, if he didn't like my comic, oh man, I would have just packed it up, because he's my target audience, because I'm my target audience, right? Make what you like, and so that put me in a good mood. So yeah, I'm a little upset right now because of the situation with the old lady, not my wife, the literal old lady in Queens, because nobody knows. Is she gone? Is she still in the hospital? Is she just deaf and not answering the phone? We don't know. So, and all of those in my mind are an equal possibility. So there's nothing I could do. My wife has the car. I can't go driving out to Queens. All right, so it's my turn. First thing I do is draw a card. And all right, so I really want to deactivate these threats because they're really bad. They're really, really bad. So who could help me deactivate threats first? All right, so I'm going to play the Thing's starting card. That activates his resistance to damage, because the longer you hold on to cards, the longer the chance that they're going to get discarded. And that's a great card. So the Thing, right away, he can ignore 1 point of damage per turn on the villain's turn, not on his own turn. So, and that gives him a fight action, right? So the Skrull Warrior card over here makes it so that all thugs need 2 damage to be deactivated. So he's not going to attack this thug. He's going to put a fight action. So he's just fighting Skrull decoys. And that's unfortunately the only thing he could do, because there's no other symbols for him to borrow. The first player in this game always gets screwed. It's funny, because whenever we play, I always say, I'll be first. And then people think, oh, you just want to go first? Because no, the first player gets screwed. And that's another thing. Whenever I play board games with people, I want the other guy. It's more important to me that the other people have fun. Unless it's my regular guys that come over all the time, then yes, I want them to have fun, but then I also want to win. But if it's somebody for the first time and they're unsure of the game, I don't want to crush them, because then they never want to play again. All right, so that was Ben's turn. Now I'm going to draw another card. And let's see now. I really want to deactivate these threats, but now I also want to play their first cards, so they have powers for the rest of the game. So now the Human Torch is going to go. He's got his Pyrogenesis. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, you could treat. So he could swap superhero actions for attack actions, which I always forget about. So now he has an attack, and he has an attack and a movement, and the attack could become a heroic action. So he's going to start taking out the Skrull Deception in Central Park, and he will do this. So he is He's just fighting Skrulls in Central Park, just nameless Skrulls. All right, so that's what Johnny Storm does. Because until you in this particular scenario, it's hard to rescue and fight people because you never know if there's Skrulls. It takes twice as much effort. All right, and now I'm going to draw a card again. I really want to play all their base abilities. So I'm going to play invisibility for the Invisible Woman. That allows me to turn her invisible at a bad cost, but it's better than being hurt. So she now has a movement and a heroic action. And where is she? So she's attacking the Skrulls in Times Square. So that's what we're doing. So right now, the Fantastic Four are scattered among the city, just battling nameless hordes of Skrulls. And I just love it. It's so thematic. Again, Ernest, since you're watching, could you check the screen? Is this link like where everybody could still see it? Like, is it there, or do I have to periodically post this link? Because I got a bunch of people. There's a bunch of people in it. Can you guys see the starred link? I don't know how that works. Could you guys see the star? And it's the SuperSkrull's turn. Hey, Tony Grigo. How's it going? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I think the answer is Chuck Norris. The answer is always Chuck Norris. I can't believe I made a Chuck Norris joke. Those are so cringe at these days. So Ernest can see it. Yeah, but you've been in the chat. Tony, you just showed up. Could you see the star chat? Like Ernest, if you leave YouTube and then come back, could you see it? Would you mind trying that out for me? All right, so now the SuperSkrull is going to attack. All right, so he's got a BAM. Okay, so he's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so he what does he do on a BAM? Deal 1 damage to each hero of the SuperSkrull's location. So she's going to turn invisible because I don't want to lose her teamwork card. That's another thing, is they have cards that say teamwork on them, and the only Invisible Woman card I have is a teamwork card, and I don't want to lose that. So she's going to turn invisible at a cost. Okay. Now, also a star and a movement. So let's see, BAM. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Okay. I think we just lost. All right. So, but let's go through this. So, BAM, deal 1 damage to each hero in each location or with 1 or more thugs. So, Johnny's going to take a damage. Oh, Reed doesn't take a damage, but he takes a damage, but he's immune. All right. Yes. All right. All right. She also takes a damage, but she's invisible, so she doesn't take a damage. Yes, we survived. All right. Now we got to go movement. Start. Deal 1 damage to each. So because of this symbol, she takes another damage, but she's invisible. Perfect. And then because the move, he moves over here. So all right, that could have been. Oh, good. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right. So anybody who wants to pop in, there's the link. It's in the star if you want to pop in and talk with me. Nice. The invisibility power of the SuperSkrull. The Invisible Woman's invisibility power just saved this game. We would have lost already. Oh, nice. Perfect. Who's stronger, the SuperSkrull or the Amazo? Amazo has all the powers of the Justice League. So, I mean, just copying Superman's powers makes Amazo more powerful than the SuperSkrull, right? And in Wonder Woman and the Green Lantern. I mean, I'm a Marvel guy, and one of the reasons why I'm a Marvel guy is they have more realistic limits on the superheroes, where the DC guys they're gods, you know. So I like Marvel better. Right. So The SuperSkrull just went. So now I draw a card. Wow, I got 4 Mr. Fantastics and 1 Invisible Woman. If I play the Invisible Woman, I have to play it face up, face down. So to pay for her invisibility. So I don't know if I want to do that yet. So read. Okay, so I'm going to play Reed. So Mr. Fantastic is going to go, and he's dealing with these Skrull threats. We got Skrull warriors running around through the Baxter building. We can't have that. Oh, this is Johnny Storm's damage. That goes there. All right, so we got a movement token that I put here. So Reed's got to move around. He's got to bob and weave, and then he does a heroic action. And then he has another heroic action. So with the last heroic action, he's going to rescue Willie Lumpkin from the Baxter building. So I just love when they get to use all of their symbols. So Reed just running through this fantastic, fighting Skrull warriors, knocking Skrull warriors down, and then finds Willie Lumpkin delivering the mail, and he just picks him up and puts him on the elevator. Says, "Get out of the building! Get out of the building!" All right. So now I draw another card. Let's see. I would like Sue to go because this card is really, really bad. So let's see. I need, but she doesn't. I need a fight symbol. So we can't do that, and I don't want to get rid of her teamwork card. So Reed is going to go again. So Mr. Fantastic, he has a wild action, a movement, and a heroic action. All right. So his wild action, I will convert it to a fight and put it on this card. So he defeats all the Skrull warriors in the Baxter building. All right. So that's now he has a movement and a heroic action, and he has plasticity up. No, I didn't play his base card. Did I lose it? No, I didn't. So okay. All right. So now he has a movement and a heroic action. So he will move over here. Okay. I'm just making sure we can do it. No, we can't. So he will use his heroic action to rescue this civilian, and then he will move over here. Why? Because of the Skrull deception, rescuing civilians requires 2 heroic actions, and he only had 1, so it would have been a waste. So, I want to clear out this card because this card is full, but you got to do what you got to do. All right, so I'm going to draw another card, and I really want. Okay, so now I can play the Invisible Woman. All right, but I don't want to play because I got to waste a teamwork card to play the Invisible Woman. All right, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to play Reed's Mr. Fantastic's plasticity card. All right, so he, as long as this card is in play, he could use heroic actions or fight in adjacent locations, so he could stretch. And he has 2 he has 2 wild actions. So we will do this, and we will. I want to put a fight on it because fights seem to be harder to get. So he's fighting the Skrull decoys. So he's in the police station basically beating up cops, and as the cops fall down unconscious, they turn back into Skrulls. So the other cops are like, "What's going on, Reed?" He's like, and then Reed arrogantly doesn't explain what's going on because it's more dramatic to the comic book reader. All right, so now the SuperSkrull goes. The SuperSkrull moves. He doesn't like that Reed is dealing with his actions, so we get a bam. All right, so a bam is Reed takes a damage. All right, so I take one of his cards. Now I can take any card and put it at the bottom, but if Reed takes the damage, Reed takes the damage. So I try to take a Reed card, the appropriate person, and then we put a crisis token over here, and then we release civilians. So this is overflow. If one or more. Okay, so you only, okay, so that only happens once. So we put a scroll card over here, which absolutely sucks. That also covers, this is full, but you only add one card. That's enough. I made it harder. So I played this game, lost to the SuperSkrull, and I made it harder than it needed to be. All right, so, oh, there's a whole bunch of Tony Grigos give me Zeus or Odin. Which one wins in an arm wrestling contest? I would say Zeus. Zeus has always been like physically stronger, whereas Odin to me has always been more clever. Odin is, he fights, but I always saw Zeus's specialty, Odin's specialty as cleverness and scheming, whereas Odin, I mean, Odin has always been cleverness and scheming, whereas Zeus to me is just, I rule by sheer power. So there you go. The germs of the circle jerks. The germs. Not even a sec. I like the circle jerks, but it's the germs for me. The germs are the ultimate punk rock band. The other one could be, as far as punk rock being like counterculture and offensive and everything like that, there are only two real punk rock bands, the Germs and G.G. Allen's band, both of which had goals to die on stage. Darby got this close; he died backstage, and G.G. Allen died in a hotel room. But they were the most offensive. They were everything that punk rock was supposed to be. And 1993 was the end of punk when G.G. Allen died. So everything after 1993 is pretenders to be punk. Henry Rollins or Glendale. It's funny that you said that. I was just talking with my buddy in California about Henry Rollins. I can't stand Henry Rollins anymore. What a pretentious, self-righteous prick. Glenn Danzig is also a self-righteous, pretentious dick. But something about him, I could, either one of them could jump into a volcano as far as I'm concerned. But Henry Rollins just annoys me more than Glenn Danzig. So who is the least annoying? Glenn Danzig is the least annoying of two very annoying people. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Who's the least annoying of two very annoying people? All right, so the SuperSkrull just went. I'm going to draw a card. I got a handful of Invisible Woman cards. All right, so I have to play her card upside down. So oh man, this is going to be rough, because I got all teamwork cards, and I don't want to waste any of these good. So I'm gonna play Reed and hope for a bad invisible. I got great Invisible Woman cards, but I have to pay it upside down and lose all the benefits of it to pay for her invisibility. All right, so Reed is going to go. He's going to play Teamwork. Perform all the actions on the Fantastic Four card, which there are none because he's playing the first. Then add a movement token. So this card slowly builds up the team. Okay, and then Reed gets to move. He gets to move, and he has a wild action. So I'm going to use his wild action to clear the Skrull decoys. So he flushes out the police station out of all the Skrull decoys, and then he gets to move. He will move. Yes, we will move back to the Baxter building, because at the end of your turn, if you end your turn at the Baxter building, you get to draw a card. And I drew another great Invisible Woman card. Oh God! All right, so that was the first of the three heroic actions. So now I'm going to draw another card. Johnny Storm is going to go. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and he has. Okay, so now the Human Torch has a wild action, a movement action, and heroic action. So we're going to use the heroic action to clear the so he fights the Skrulls in Central Park, and he stops the Skrull deception in Central Park. Nice. Now he has he has two movements. So he has two movements left. So he will. What do we want to do? We want to do. He will move to the Baxter building so we can all draw another card. There you go. There you go. So this was so one more heroic card. So we are fully healed from the devastating attack. I want to play the Invisible Woman, but they're all great. So I don't want to burn them. So I'm going to play Ben. Okay, so the thing is going to go. He gets an attack, a movement, a heroic action, and a movement. So he's going to clear off the Skrull decoys. Okay, so that clears off all the threats because the SuperSkrull's threats are really bad. Now the villain gets he ups his game. He's going to go after two. He's going to go after 2 actions instead of 3. All right. So that was just a. So now he also gets a movement and an attack. So he will go here, and then he's going to the Shield headquarters, and he's just beating up on Skrull spies. There we go. There we go. Because that is a bad card. That is a real bad card. All right. All right. So there we go. So now the Skrull goes. Bam. Skrull challenge. Move clockwise to the next location with the hero. So he's going to go over here. Oh, man. All right. So he hits Reed and the Human Torch. Now, I do not have a Reed and a Human Torch card. So this sucks. So I'm going to have to discard that card, and I will discard a Ben card. So somehow the SuperSkrull gloats and his minions over here attack. So there we go. That sucks. Whenever there's a BAM, okay, then we resolve. Move. We got to do it in order. Deal 1 damage to the hero. It's man. So I got to take out another 2 cards. Oh man, this sucks. We only have 1 card left, and then he moves. Oh wow! And then one of these cards says BAM. Deal 1 damage to each hero with. Oh, and then this guy turns out to be a Skrull. He attacks. These turns out to be, and then we lose. Oh man, the SuperSkrull is tough. We just lost again. So I'm gonna answer these chats, and then I'm gonna set up one more time. A whole bunch of questions. Tony Grigo asks. What does Tony Grigo ask? Oh, are you a fan of the Dead Kennedys? Yes and no. I used to love the Dead Kennedys. There's a story I tell why I brought a Dead Kennedys album to school to lend it to a friend, and a girl made fun of me. Oh, you like them? You were weird. And then years later, I saw her in college. She was a hot girl, and she was even hotter in college. She was the difference between a girl and a woman. And she's sitting in the bar, sexy legs crossed, smoking a cigarette. Back when you could smoke in bars, drinking a drink with her high heels on. And she goes, "Oh, John." And she calls me over, and we just start talking. She's shamelessly flirting, but me being a jerk, like Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong, I'm just like, "You made fun of me in high school." And then she's like, "John was always cool. He's always listened to good bands and good bands." And I was like, "You made fun of me for bringing a Dead Kennedys record for school. Don't pretend we're friends." And it was funny because my friend Terry was just like, "She was flirting with you, and you absolutely ruined it." And I was like, "Well, not gonna, whatever." So that's funny. So, but to answer your question, I used to love the Dead Kennedys, but Jello Biafra, man, can I not take his insane, super extreme left-wing politics anymore? So I have a fondness for him, but I can't listen to him anymore. Same with Bad Religion. I used to love Bad Religion, and now it's like I can't do. My favorite movie soundtrack. Like if you mean like movie scores, I don't pay attention to that. Like when I listen to when I watch a movie and I hear the music, I'm like, "Oh, that's great." But it seems like nowadays people are listening to movie scores, and I don't listen to that. But soundtracks, I gotta say, Repo Man, the Emilio Estevez movie. It's all great. It's all great punk songs. So that is my favorite movie soundtrack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, SuperSkrull is tough. What is? So that's that. Now look at all the scroll cards. Who would win, the FF or the 4 from Planetary? That's a good one because they're basically the same. If you ever read Planetary, it's Warren Ellis and John Cassaday, and it's set on Image Earth, which, Image is kind of wonky, and it's their take on all the superheroes. So they have like a Superman, a Batman, a Fantastic Four, very inspirational for heroic tales, I might add. Except I don't have like the super adult take on it that Warren Ellis has, but I liked it both. But they were like a sinister Fantastic Four. I just got to go with the good guys. Fantastic Four wins, based on pure emotion, just pure emotion. So it's hard to shuffle a small deck. So I'll put that there, and then I'm gonna take all the FF cards. I got to get the starting cards and put them in my hand. Have I read Joe Kubert's Tor? I think I have a comic of Tor, but so I'm going to say no, because if I have to think that hard, then I don't remember it, and that's the same as not reading it. And it's not like I have anything against it. I love Joe Kubert. Matter of fact, if you have a recommendation of anything to read, is it a comic book series? Is it a graphic novel? Just point it out. Point it out. Right now, I'm making it my mission to catch up on all Mark Miller's comics. Mark expressed interest in coming back on my channel in April. I think because he knows I'm friendly with Narwhal Per Berg, who's doing a Vatican City. And yes, 2 days ago, Mark Miller said that he's reading John Byrne's Fantastic Four for the first time. So I was like, come on my channel, let's talk about it. And then I get an email that so there you go. So I want to catch up on Mark Miller. Why does that have anything to do with Joe Kubert? I don't know. Hey, all right. Now I got my blessing. Now I get my blessing from Zach Tan. Now I can get, because I'm a little emotionally flabbergasted or distracted by the old lady in Queens. I just fear for the worst, and the worst being the inevitable. She's 94 years old, and she's about as healthy as Aunt May, the original Steve Ditko Aunt May, not the Marissa Tomei Aunt May. All right, so Tori's about, okay, then I didn't read it. Okay, Tori's about 7 issues long. So then I didn't read it because I know, oh man, I just got real hungry all of a sudden. But I know me, if I was to read one issue, I would get the rest of them. So then I didn't read it. So I'll check it out. If you could send me a DM on Twitter, that'll remind me. If you could DM me on Twitter, just Tor, I'll know what you're talking about. All right, so let's start this game. Let's see if the SuperSkrull, he'll probably beat me. All right, so the SuperSkrull, he's starting out at Yancey Street. I don't know why, but that's where they're starting out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He goes right to the Baxter building. Makes sense. And bam, deal 1 damage to each hero in the SuperSkrull's location. I know I'm getting rid of an Invisible Woman card because I know that's breaking my theme, but I'm not getting rid of his starting card. Oh, that really, really, really sucks. And then there's no other symbols to deal. I'm just making sure. Does not activate. Here's when a hero is KO'd. Okay. All right. So we put that there. He releases an obvious scroll into the Baxter building, and then scroll imposters. All civilians are scroll imposters in when the SuperSkrull's in play. All right, so we already starting out damaged. So I'm drawing another card, and Reed will go first. So he didn't like it that his attack caused this person to attack Sue. So he's going to activate his plasticity. And oh, crap, a bam. So deal 1 damage to one hero in each location with. So Sue takes a damage. So I got to put this card back. So Sue takes a damage. All right. Oh, thugs. Yeah, so we lose already. We have lost. That's how quick it is to lose this game. So I'm going to reset because we lose already. You can get 1-shot KO'd when you do this game in cooperative mode, because like I said, if you play with 4 players, you have 12 hit points. You actually have 16 hit points. You have between 12 and 16 hit points. When you play this, you have between 5 and 6 hit points at max. All right, so he's going to start there, and what we're going to do, it's better to be in a group when you are playing the Fantastic Four. So this is how you reset the game. I will shuffle his cards. Before we go, Coke or Pepsi? Coke. I choose restaurants based on whether they have Coke or Pepsi. I like Coke. I cannot stand Pepsi. Pepsi is too sweet. I cannot deal with sweetness. Like cakes, cupcakes, stuff like that. I can't eat this. It's too sweet. So there's a diner right by us that we go to all the time, and I'm just so mad because they only have Pepsi. So if I go there, I'm drinking coffee. My favorite horror film, I don't know. I like horror, but I'm not like crazy about horror. My favorite horror film, it's Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby is my favorite horror film. It's this movie that scares me. It scares me not because of the devil. It scares me because of the friends, the conspiracy. That scares me. Like poor Rosemary does everything right, but everybody is in on it. That like she trusts her husband, she trusts everybody, and that just scares me. That's Rosemary's Baby. It's my favorite. It's Roman Polanski, who's a piece of shit, but it's still a good movie. Would you consider it to be an underrated old school comic creator? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, without a doubt. Now his name is blanking on me. Keith Pollard. Oh my God, what a great comic book artist. Look up Keith Pollard's run on the Avengers and Thor. Such good comics, such good artist. And he's still working. There you go. People message me. Yeah, so Tony, send me a message on Twitter that says Tor. All right. So now we're gonna start the game. Oh man, SuperSkrull is tougher than Dr. Doom. I think we just lost. We just lost one card. So he comes here and he damages everybody on that spot. I'm supposed to have 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 cards. So one Reed, one and so these cards all go away. All right. Boom. And then bam. So now activates, deal 1 damage to each hero with a thug, and this is bam. So boom, we just lost again. We got 1-shotted. Like I said, it's impossible to play based on cooperative rules. So we just got beaten. First move, we didn't even get to do anything. SuperSkrull just just takes us out. So the only way to win. Okay. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna split the team. I think that realistically, and I think I figured that out last game. And so I got to get the starting cards. Oh man. Wow. Defenders or West Coast Avengers? The Defenders or the West Coast Avengers? I collected both, obviously. West Coast Avengers have John Byrne writing and drawing for a long time. They started out rough. The Defenders started out rough, and the Defenders never really had a great. The Defenders were always like the team that I like the Defenders because they're not the Avengers, you know. But I have a fondness for the Defenders, but I got to go with the West Coast Avengers. They were just better comics. Falcon or the U.S. Agent. I like them both, but I like old school Sam Wilson as the Falcon. It's a freaking cool costume. To me, the Falcon is a supporting character. U.S. Agent, I mean, is a derivative of Captain America. So to me, they're both supporting characters. But the Falcon is original and unique. You know, he's got a unique costume. He's got those cool wings. But a U.S. Agent is just like the anti-Captain America. You know what I mean? He's a total. I don't like the new Falcon America and stuff like that. That's all stupid. Like I really, really turning into an old fart. That Marvel ended in 2015. Marvel ended in 2015. So, you know, that's when I quit Marvel. So there you go. Would you agree that Jeff Loeb is overrated? I didn't know he was overrated. I just thought he was just another writer. I mean, what has he done that's praiseworthy? You know, he was just like, to me, he was just like a Brian Michael Bendis and you know, a Mark Snyder. Like, people celebrate him. It's news to me that he's overrated, because to me he's just. I'm trying to think. What did he do? Did he did like the Hulk Gray and the Hulk, you know, he did those were good. Did he do the Long Halloween? Am I thinking of the same guy? I mean, those were good, but that's I don't know. To me, he would have to. So yeah, I guess I agree that he's overrated, because I didn't realize he was overrated. He was just another run-of-the-mill writer, you know. The best thing he did was the first season of Heroes, right? And that was it. First season of Heroes was really good. That show was a victim of its own success. It got so popular that the producers started interfering. So let's try this again. All right. So we don't have a BAM. So he's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. He goes to the police station, and he starts releasing scrolls. All right. So this is an overflow. So this goes here. This over here, but it's an overflow that's covered by that, so that's good. Oh, and this token I forgot to remove, so we put this here and this here. Okay, so we survived the first attack of the SuperSkrull. Which comic creator, living or dead, would you have done? So many. You know, let me put it this way. The best way to answer this question is, who wouldn't I have dinner with? I wouldn't have dinner with a guy who does frog comics on the internet, and I wouldn't have dinner with Mark Waid, and I wouldn't have dinner with Gail Simone, because then I'd be hungry, because there'd be no dinner left. But anybody else I'd have dinner with. You know, if you ask me who I would most want to have dinner with, that's a tough question. But I'd have dinner with anybody except for those people. And another guy who says that writers are a dime a dozen, and then wrote one of the worst comics ever, and then bullied other people until he got a worthless award. And, there you go. So there's only about four comic creators I would not have dinner with, but like Brian Bao, Fabrizio Aiello, and I talk every day. I love those guys, but I haven't met them physically. I'd love to have dinner with them. That means we're in the same place. Renzo, I haven't met Renzo. He's in Mexico. I'd love for him to come to New York, get some New York pizza. I mean, the list is almost infinite, but so it's easier to say who I would not have dinner with. All right, so now I'm going to draw a card, and we will begin our attack on the SuperSkrull. All right, so I want to play all their first player cards. So I'm going to play and all their first cards have just one symbol on them. So whoever plays first is going to get screwed. So the Invisible Woman will go. She activates her invisibility. That gives her a heroic action token. Her heroic action token I'll put over here. So she comes out swinging and starts battling Skrull warriors who have infiltrated the Baxter building. I'm getting cold. I think the temperature's dropped. What's the temperature here in New York? It's 28 degrees. Wow, I got to turn up the heat down here. I'm getting hungry and cold and emotional. All right, so Sue goes first. The first person in this game always gets a little screwed. All right, so now the second, like I said, I want to start activating all of their super ability. So I will play the Thing. So that activates his rock-like skin, so he could ignore 1 damage on the villain's turn, and he gets a punch. So he's at Yancey Street. He's going to Yancey Street, and the Yancey Street gang starts attacking him, but he finds out that it's the Skrull. Like the Yancey Street gang, they throw a pie at him, but this pie had a hand grenade in it, and he's like, "What's going on?" It's revolting Skrulls. So he starts clobbering revolting Skrulls on Yancey Street, and he gets a heroic axe. So he's really just clobbering. He's just clobbering Skrulls on Yancey Street. So, and of course, everybody watching this just sees Ben Grimm beating up kids, so they're yelling at Ben Grimm, right? That's the way the SuperSkrull activates, because the Skrulls are analogs for dirty commies. All right, and now I get to draw again. So I will play the Human Torch, activate his Pyrokinesis card, and so a movement. So Johnny, he's no dummy. He sees what's going on, so he helps Ben to defeat the Skrull decoys. So we defeat the Skrull decoys on Yancey Street. And then, so that was his movement action. His fight action, he could convert to heroic actions as per his card. So he's going to rescue, can he? Yes, he can. So he rescues a civilian on Yancey Street. Remember that movie? A civilian on Yancey Street. So that was good. So now there was 3 heroic actions. The SuperSkrull goals, I think, from going forward, right before the bad guy goes, I'll address all the comments. Do I speak Spanish? Un poquito. I took Spanish for years in high school. I took Spanish in college. I lived in New Mexico and talked to Spanish people. I've lived in New York, a lot of Spanish people. If you speak slowly, I can pretty much understand it, and I could speak well enough to, get laughed at, but un poquito. What are your thoughts on the new Red Sonja film? I didn't even know there was a new Sonja film. Oh, that's right. RJ was talking about it. RJ from the Fourth Age. And I don't know. The girl looks hot. That's all I know. That's all I know. Uh, I have no faith in any new media, so I don't get excited. I don't look at it. I only looked at stuff for the Fantastic Four movie because everybody came to ask me about it. So I was like, if I'm gonna have a YouTube channel about comic books and talking about how much I love, I got to know about it. But I'm not too excited about any. You know, my spirit has been crushed. Uh, I will hopefully. I would rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointed. So I have no expectations on any new nerd media stuff. Uh, what are your thoughts on John Byrne making Ben Grimm Jewish? Ben Grimm was always Jewish. You know, he was always, as the young progressives say, coded as Jewish. He was always Jack Kirby modeled him after his grandfather. So it's perfect that he's Jewish. It's it's what he should be. I know like the Stan Lee and Jack made like everybody like Protestants. You know, the basic waspy Americans. But Ben Grimm, plus I like the fact that he's a golem. It just fits. It's perfect. My buddy, blue-eyed Benjamin Grimm. So now the SuperSkrull goes. The Skrull challenge. Move clockwise to the next location with the hero with no. So he's going to go over here. Boom. And he attacks everybody there. Sue's going to go invisible, so she's not going to take any damage. Reed will lose this card. He takes damage. Boom. Okay. And then on a BAM, you follow everything on the card in order. So, and then he moves clockwise to the next location. So he runs by and then goes to Yancey Street. Now, also, this card says, BAM, deal 1 damage to 1 hero in each location. Oh, so see, I was making it harder. 1 hero. So there's nobody here, so nobody takes damage. So 1 hero here is going to take damage. So Sue takes the damage, but she's invisible, so she can't take the damage because it says you don't take any damage due to the card. And also the thugs. So she's throws herself in a force field. She's invisible. She takes no damage. Perfect. And I played it according to the rules. All right. The only thing is now the next card that I play for the Invisible Woman plays face up. All right. So I survived. I'm going to play. I want to get Reed's base card out. So plasticity. So now he could stretch, and that gives him a movement and a heroic action. So you know what? So he's going to finish off this. So he's going to use the movement from the Human Torch, and then the wild he's going to turn into this. So that clears out. So we get rid of all of the Skrulls in the Baxter Building. Nice. And then he ends his turn in the Baxter Building, which means we draw a card. Great move, Ben Reed. That's why you're a genius. Now, I would like to play Reed's card again because we need to start rescuing people. This card makes it so that Skrull Deception. Each hero in this and adjacent location requires 2 heroic actions to be rescued. That sucks. So he could stretch. Okay, so he's going to stretch over here and start fighting the Deceptive Skrull. So he just stretches from the Baxter Building into the New York and starts fighting Skrulls. So he heroic act. So he did a heroic action and figured out this is their plot. This is what they're going to do, and then punches one, boom, on the way back without even leaving the Baxter Building, which he ends his turn at the Baxter Building, thus giving us a card. That Reed, you are a genius. You are a genius. Now I have a handful of 3 Human Torch cards and a Ben Grimm card. All right, so I really want the Human Torch to all right, so I'm going to play this card. So he gets to move and do 2 heroic actions. So he's going to move. He's going to do 1 heroic action so he figures out that there's scrolls. He goes to shield and they start acting weird. And he's like, wait a minute, you guys are damn dirty scrolls. So now he moved to use his heroic action. Now he has another heroic action. So he will use his last heroic action to rescue Clay Quartermain. If you watched my last video, I already talked poor Clay Quartermain, the only Marvel character to not only stay dead, but nobody cares that he's dead. I love poor Clay. Rest in peace. I salute you for your sacrifice. Clay is the martyr to comic book continuity. There you go. So he rescues Clay Quartermain. That was 3. So before I flip over the scroll, let's take a look at Tony Grigos just grilling me. How's everything down there in Albuquerque? Did you go to Liz's new dispensary next to Don's Books? I see it on Facebook. Have I ever won a no prize? No, I've never won a no prize. Much to my chagrin, I've never won a no prize. And every once in a while, I'll see like a no prize envelope on eBay. I want to buy one so bad. But I would love to have won a no prize. What's your favorite brand of beer? As a shock to nobody, I'm not that much of a drinker. But I will. But I have Budweiser in my refrigerator. That's my default beer, so I guess that's my favorite. Regular Bud. If you want light beer, just don't drink. So regular Budweiser. If a person ever became invisible, how would they still be able to see? It depends. I've always thought of, because that's what Warren Ellis said, that you bend light around you. But glass is see-through. You know what I mean? So I always thought that just, there's transparent skin and stuff like that. So I always just thought like something happened to the molecules that just allow light to pass through it. So light could still pass through her eyes, I don't know. How does Superman fly? He just flies. Prince or Rick James? I know this is blasphemy, but I don't particularly care for either one of them. Like, I don't have anything against them. I just, So, but Prince, because I like, he's got like 3 songs that I like, Or Rick James. What? That one song that MC Hammer ripped off. So there you go. Ernest, Tony really wanted to know the real me. The real me. Can you see the real me? Can you? All right. So now the SuperSkrull is going to go. He's not going to move. And he's going to start fighting Ben. So there's a battle on Yancey Street. And people are like, is he fighting a villain or is he still fighting kids? So Ben takes a damage. But Ben's got rock-like skin, so he ignores 1 damage this particular turn. All right. Bam. So we look at the card beforehand, and we do it in order. So so deal 1 damage to each hero in each adjacent location. Wow. Wow. So Sue is going to turn invisible again, meaning the next 2 cards. So Sue is taking herself out of the game. Johnny is going to take a damage. So I get rid of a Johnny card. I do not have a Reed card, so I'm getting rid of the It's Clobbering Time card for Ben. Wow, that was rough. And then he moves over here. And then we look at the BAMs. Deal 1 damage to each hero in a location with a civilian. There's no civilian here. There's no civilian here. There's a civilian here, but Sue is invisible. Wow. This guy is no joke. I'm down to 1 card. and it's the Johnny Storm Nova card. Wow. Wow. Holy moly. He is just crushing us. So I draw a card for my next turn. All right, so I can't play the Human Torch. I mean, I can play it, but it's a waste. So I will play Mr. Fantastic. So he got 2 movements and 2 heroic actions. So he will use 1 movement to go over here. He will use the second movement to clear this Skrull Deception. So he, with his big old brain, he figures out the Skrulls were messing with the police. So he did his 2 movements. So now he has 2 heroic actions. He will rescue this civilian, and he will rescue this civilian because those 2 cards were full, and I really can't have the SuperSkrull causing overflows anymore. Okay, so he does that, and then I unlock this power, so this activates. You may discard 1 thug from any location. So the police arrest a thug causing problems at the Baxter building because I don't want any cards to get full. Okay, so that was that. So now I draw another card. I don't want to use, so this is kind of useless. So Ben is going to move, and heroic action. So he will move. His second movement, we will that, and his heroic action is a waste. That really blows. His heroic action is a waste. That blows. So now we draw another card. Fantastic Four is just limping along. So Johnny has a move and a wild. Okay, so for the wild, he will clear. So Johnny gets rid of the Skrull Spies at Shield, which unlocks the threat card. All right, so now it amps up the SuperSkrull. So he's going to go after every 2 actions instead of every 3 actions. So now the SuperSkrull goes. So I will check the comments. Who is more annoying, Deadpool or Harley Quinn? Well, you get points for recognizing that they're both annoying. Who is more annoying? I'm going to say Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn is not the same character that the creators made. She's a wholly new character. She's, she doesn't have the same costume. She doesn't have the same powers. She doesn't have the same personality. It's a wholly different character. She's just girl boss, lesbian asshole. Where when her original character was fascinating. She was a girl obsessed with a serial killer and just fell under her sway. She's not supposed to be heroic. She's supposed to be tragic, and I thought she was a fascinating character. Deadpool is the same character that he started out to be. Annoying, of a jerk. I couldn't stand him then. But at least he's still the character as the creators envisioned. So how's that? Does that make sense? What was the last video game that I played? The only video game I play is Civilization 5. When I'm reading comic books, I sit at my computer and I have Civilization 5. So it goes. I take a turn. It does everything else. I read. So I play casually. I find it relaxing, but I haven't played any other. I tried Civilization 6. I hated it. I see Civilization 7. People are just saying it's woke nonsense. So maybe Civilization 8 they'll bring it back. But Civilization 7 just got released last week. Who is the creator of Batman? Bob Kane or Bill Finger? Bob Kane is the one who gets the credit, but they say Bill Finger, right? And the more you hear about Bob Kane, the more you realize he was just a creep, But I'll say both of them. Both of them, right? I wasn't there, but who's stronger, Thor or Hercules? Well, I subscribe to the John Byrne, or is not his specialty is not strength. Thor's specialty is the god of thunder. Thor is also supposed to be the greatest warrior of Norse mythology. Now, the god of thunder sounds strong and warrior sounds strong, but you could be a warrior and not particularly the strongest guy. It just means your skill in battle. Whereas Hercules is strength. That's his specialty, you know. So I got to say Hercules is stronger, but Thor would beat the crap out of Hercules because Thor, in the comic books anyway, has more. He's not as dumb. Thor is a genius. Hercules is a dummy, and Thor's got more powers. You know, at least in Marvel, in Greek mythology, that's a tough one. In Greek mythology, who would win? The mythological Thor or the mythological Hercules? I would say the mythological Hercules would win because he's invulnerable, and Thor is a dummy. How's that for an answer? Which actor was the best James Bond? Sean Connery. Sean Connery. He's just the coolest. Even though I've never seen a James Bond movie, Sean Connery. Sean Connery's just charisma, cool. All right, so now wow, I'm down to one card in my hand. All right, so the scroll goes. He's going to go 2, and bam, there's nobody there. That's great. Deal 1 damage to each hero with a thug in their location. Oh my god. So Ben will take the damage. He'll soak it. Sue will turn invisible again. Sue is just taking herself out of the game. But she's staying alive. And then I release scrolls into the mix. And it's a good thing I cleared all these cards. Nice. It's a good thing. And then we go down the line. The SuperSkrulls moves clockwise to the next location and then put a crisis token on the card. You cannot attack the SuperSkrull while there's crisis tokens on the card. You have to defeat the crisis tokens first and then defeat him. So there's 2 things protecting the SuperSkrull. I got to get rid of one of these cards, and I got to get I forget he buffs up with every bam. So he has 1 bam, 2 bams. So he has 2 extra hit points. I mean, it didn't have. So yeah. So I fixed it. I fixed it. All right. Oh, he didn't move. He only gets 1 card, or does he? Yeah. Okay. So that's good. Whew. All right. So now it's the good guy's attack. It's the good guys. So I got 2 Human Torch cards, which I don't really care about. And I don't want to waste this Nova, but I guess I'm wasting this Nova. All right. So Johnny Storm is going to play his Nova card, which gives him a movement, an attack, and a heroic action. So I mean a wild. So he's going to use the movement to fly over here. All right. He's going to so he used the movement to move. Now he has a heroic action that I'll put this here. He uses his other movement, so he's dealing with the scrolls at Times Square, and now he's just going to go Nova. Boom! Johnny just goes Nova. All right. So what does that do? That clears the board. Boom, boom, boom. And what does it say? Discard 1. No, I can't do that because I got to discard a card. Johnny takes damage to do that, and I only have 1 card. So he doesn't even, he used the Nova card and didn't even go Nova. Johnny's too weak to go Nova right now. Oh my God. So now I'm going to draw another card. Johnny is going to go. Johnny, he's going to use his fight. So Johnny has a heroic action, fight, and a movement. He's going to use this fight to clear this card. All right. Now he has a movement and a heroic action. So he will move here and put a heroic action here. All right. All right. That's 2 cards. The scroll goes. So let's address the chat. Hey, Tank Ferret's here. How you doing, Tank? Ahoy, all you sagacious scallywags. He's got a little bit of Stan Lee in him, talking like that. This comment's not coming up. In your opinion, why is it that every subsequent Marvel movie is more terrible and more mediocre than the rest? Because they've been infected. You know, all this woke ideology. Like back when they made the first Iron Man movie, they had guys that had the job for a while, and then they slowly got replaced by other people. And the whole woke ideology, there's nothing on merit, so it's infected. We're gonna get it. It's gonna take another. It took 20 years for them to take over all of entertainment. It's gonna take 20 years to weed them all out. So I have no hope for anything. Dungeons & Dragons, movies, Netflix, comics. It's gonna take another 20 years. So there we go. Do you think that modern Marvel could survive without DEI? It will flourish without DEI, but I think the damage, I think it suffered a mortal wound. DEI is just it's slowly dying. It's dripping blood. Without the DEI, they'll stop the dripping blood, but I don't know. The first thing to do when in a hole is stop digging, and then we'll deal with the hole. Like right now, they're cutting all this government waste, and now they're going to give everybody $5,000. No, cut the waste, pay off. You know what I mean? Like if I owe $60,000 in credit card bills, and then the credit card company's going to give me $1,000, no, put it towards my debt. Everybody's crazy. Everybody's crazy but me. All right, so now the SuperSkrull is going to attack. He's going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to attack Ben. Boom! But Ben gets to resist once. We also got, okay, there's no BAM cards. That's great. He comes with a scroll. A scroll on Yancey Street and a scroll in there. Now Times Square is filled. All the slots are full. And where's the card? Okay. And then we use this hero. Deal 1 damage to each hero and adjacent. So we kind of survived that one. We kind of survived that one barely because I only have 1 card. All right, so now I got 2 Invisible Woman cards. So I have to play one of them. So I play it face down. And I could take away one of these tokens. I have to pay the cost of her invisibility. So that means she only has a heroic action. So the only thing she could do is rescue a civilian, which is fine. That's fine. That's what I wanted her to do anyway. And she ends her turn at the Baxter building. So this was perfect. So she gets to draw another card. So she's healing the team. She's healing the team. Now I get to draw another card. So we were at 1 card. Now we're at 3 because her. So I kind of want her to go again. But this card has nothing. So I would have to play it face up again. Wow. That's going to be rough. So Reed will go. And Reed will have 2 wild actions. Okay. So Reed is going to go. Super genius. This turn you could treat all symbols as, so he has 2 wild actions. So Reed's going to stretch over here. Okay, and clear off these scroll decoys. He didn't have to do it, but that adds crisis tokens to the board, which means we can't fight. So this goes away. So Reed goes over there, and then he's at the police station. I may discard a thug from any location. So let's get it. But when you discard them, we don't go there. The police take them, so they don't go on that card. I mean, it helps because anything helps. So that was 2 heroic actions. Now, SuperSkrull is going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He goes to Yancey Street and bams on Yancey Street. So he starts beating up on poor people. He's beating up the Yancey Street gang. That's cool. All right. I don't see any other cards that say bam. So he releases a scroll, a civilian, and a civilian. And remember, in this particular scenario, civilians could be bad. All right. And then he gets deal 1 damage to 1 hero in each adjacent location. So boom, he hits Ben, who could deflect it. The invisible woman, I don't want, so she's going to turn invisible again. Jeez. Again, she's taking herself out of the game, but even though she's taking herself out of the game, she still managed to do stuff. So this is Stan Lee, invisible woman. I'm just a girl. She's shrinking Violet over here. All right. So we're surviving. We're hanging on. So I'm going to draw a card. Where is Ben? All right. Where is Ben? All right. All right. So I'm going to play teamwork. So we're going to get the first teamwork token on the card. So now Ben gets 2 attacks and a heroic action. So Ben, 2 attacks. He takes out these 2 thugs. Boom, boom. And then he rescues this civilian. Boom. That was Henry Gyrich. Henry Gyrich may be a jerk, but he's still human, and Ben values human life. So he's just beating up scrolls and saving people over on the Shield headquarters. There we go. Good job, Ben. And then we draw another card. I would like Johnny to go because Ben is on a location with really nothing to do and he can't move. If I play the invisible woman, she's not going to be able to do anything, but then we could heal. But I want to play the Human Torch because this card is filled with. So the Human Torch, he has a movement and 2 attacks. So he will take out 2 thugs. Boom, boom. They're called thugs in the game. All right, so he takes out 2 thugs, and now he has a movement. So he will go here. Again, I've been making the game a little harder. So it says you may rescue a civilian from this location. When you rescue them, they go on this card. Some of them, like over here, it says you may discard. So you got to really pay attention to the words. So he just rescued. So Johnny Storm goes to Times Square. He beats up some scrolls in Central Park, flies over to Times Square, and rescues a hot chick, Dory Evans. He rescues Dory Evans, his old girlfriend, You know, this is we are playing like old Fantastic Four. This is Fantastic Four from 1 to 102. So that's 2 cards. Let's check out the comments over here. Tony Grigo, New Gods or Eternals? Eternals. The New Gods to me was always a little weird. The concept was I know it's blasphemy, but and to be honest, I never read Jack Kirby's New Gods. I only read other people doing the New Gods. I actually got Forever People #1. I want to get some New Gods. I'm starting Jack Kirby's New Gods, so maybe I'll reverse my opinion. But I got in on the Eternals from day one. You know, I started collecting comics when the Eternals was coming out. I love the Eternals. I will say that the Eternals work best in their own universe. You can't have the Greek gods and the Eternals. They're redundant. You know, it's either one or the other. Marvel messed up folding the Eternals into Marvel. You know, how are you gonna have Zuros and Zeus? You know, and Devil Flyer. I was just talking about you. Thank you for liking my comic. John Dexter told me you like my comic. Devil Flyer Momentum. Hail John, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. You put me in a really good mood yesterday when I was in a bad mood by that. All right, so now SuperSkrull is going to go. The SuperSkrull is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a good thing Johnny moved. It's not a BAM card, so that's good. Matching powers. And the next Master Plan card has a BAM. It uses the last 2 heroes. Okay, so but he brings with him an army of scrolls. So this may or may not be a scroll. It could, you know, may or may not be a scroll. This overflows, which really stinks. We just burn a card because this is full, and then this one is at its limit. It's at its limit. So I gotta get. It's got to be one more token. Jeez. I don't like using other tokens. Come on. There's got to be another civilian. Oh, there we go. So now we got. So Times Square is now full. Good thing Johnny did what he did. He just saved a lot. He just saved us a lot. So that now I draw a card. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? If we rescue 2 more civilians, we could start attacking the SuperSkrull. And I got 2 Invisible Woman cards and a Thing card. So I'm going to play the Invisible Woman. I have to play it face up to clear one of her uses. I got to pay for her invisibility. So she has a movement and an attack. So she will beat this thug, but I do not want her to move. You know what? I don't want her to move because she could heal us. So, like I said, we're playing Stanley Jack Kirby Invisible Woman. She's going to stay in the house and be a mother and heal us all. So she loses a movement action, but that's fine. All right, but she's healing us. And then we draw so I drew a card because she ended her turn at the Baxter building. Now I drew a card for the beginning of my next turn. And if I play an Invisible Woman card, she does nothing because there's no symbols for her to use. So I at least want to space them out. So Ben is going to go. Ben gets a movement, so he's going to move over here and rescue a civilian. And that is excellent because he ends his turn here and you could rescue another civilian. So that clears this card. Good job, Ben. And then this shuts down. So now the villain is now vulnerable to damage. So now we can officially start attacking the SuperSkrull. Now, the only thing is, okay, so we started out with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He should have 8 hit points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got to put 2 more. Okay, so SuperSkrull gets more and more powerful as time goes on. So now I have to clear this crisis token, and then we could start beating up on the SuperSkrull. But he goes now. So he's going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes to the Shield headquarters and attacks Shield. Boom! He releases civilians. 1 at Yancey Street, who may or may not be a Skrull. 1 there and 1 here. Good thing we cleared those cards. And because of this last card, he gets the 2 previous cards. He doesn't get Sue's because she was invisible, so he gets a heroic action and an attack. So the heroic deal damage to 1 hero in each adjacent location. So he's going to attack Ben. Ben can absorb it because that card's still there, and there's nobody here. Nice. And then he didn't like that. So he stretched, hit Ben. Ben blocked it. So now SuperSkrull shows up at that location to deal with Ben in person. Nice, 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 nice. It's the beginning of our turn. All right. So Ben, how do you get rid of? How do you get rid of those crisis tokens? Heroes in this location must spend a heroic action to get rid of. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So Ben is just gonna start hitting. He's gonna start walloping. It's not quite clobbering time. He's gonna wallop. So he's gonna use his heroic action to get rid of that crisis. Then he's gonna hit the SuperSkrull twice. Boom, boom, and now he has a movement. He's gonna move over here because I want to start clearing this. I want to start clearing this. So he's like, all right. He hits the SuperSkrull. Come and get me, you big lug, and runs to Central Park. All right. So now I draw another card. And Johnny Storm, he's got 2 wild actions and 2 attacks. So Johnny is just going to beat the crap. So he's just going all at him. So he does 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I only have to do 2 more damage to the SuperSkrull to win the game. Nice. So Johnny is just going nuts on the SuperSkrull. Matching fire for fire, blowing up stuff, all that cool stuff. So SuperSkrull goes. I see I got new comments. Let's address, is the Yancey Street a real thing? Yancey Street is the Lancey Street in Lower Manhattan, right by the, is it the Manhattan Bridge? Right by the Manhattan Bridge is when you take the Manhattan Bridge, no, the Williamsburg Bridge. When you take the Williamsburg Bridge, which is like the southmost bridge from Brooklyn, you come by Delancey Street, and Delancey Street they changed to Yancey Street. So there you go. Who was the better sergeant, Frank Rock or Nick Fury? You're gonna laugh at me, but I avoided DC War comics, so I never read a Frank Rock comic. I take it back. I read a few. I read later ones. Nick Fury. Okay, now that I got my memory together, I read plenty of Frank Rock as a sergeant. I never read Nick Fury as a sergeant. I've only read Nick Fury as Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I don't know who is a better sergeant. By default, it's Frank Rock because I read his comics as a sergeant. You know, if you read a Frank Rock comic, he is a sergeant. He never made it out of the war, right? Didn't Frank Rock get killed by the last bullet fired in World War II? You know, isn't that the story? It's kind of a perfect end for that character. All right, so SuperSkrull goes. He's going to go 2. Oh, that's 1, 2, and he's going to hit Reed. Bam! So Reed's going to take a damage. All right, so I'm going to put a Reed card at the bottom of the deck. Reed takes a damage. Bam! There's nothing else that says bam. And then we look at the... this may have cost us the game. We put 2 crisis tokens because the last card is Johnny Storm's Wild, and Wild is... Oh, no. He gains 2 health, which just as bad sucks. So he regenerates. So he's back up to 4 hit points. Nope. He regenerates 1, and he gets 2 crisis tokens. So that may have cost us the game. So he has 3 hit points and 2 crisis tokens. That just absolutely sucks. And this is overflown, so we burn his last card. So we have to beat the SuperSkrull in these next 2 actions, or we lose the game. And we put a civilian here, and then that overflow is there. Oh man, this is rough. This is rough. What are my thoughts on the Nick Fury? What do you think? I hate when they race swap. It's lazy. Now, I'm a little bit gentler on that race swap because Samuel L. Jackson said he wanted to play Nick Fury. So he, you know what I mean? When you get a guy like Samuel Jackson says he wants to play your character, you let him play the character. So Mark Miller changed Nick Fury to a black guy in the Ultimates line. Now, you can get away with it because it's another universe, but whatever. But my stance is, if race doesn't matter, oh, you're just a racist because you get upset. So if race doesn't matter, then why'd you change it in the first place? Like, either a character's race is a big part, like, oh, like it's like saying, oh yeah, I'm a man, but now I'm a woman. Now, oh, but only a woman can experience what it's like to be a woman, but now men can experience what it's like to be a woman by just saying they're a woman. So there aren't, but at the same time, a white guy can't say he's black, and it's so effing stupid. It's all so effing stupid. So either race matters, sex matters, or they don't matter. And if they don't matter, then why are they changing them? And they do matter, so when you change them, it's insulting. So that's how I feel. Do you want a black character? Make up a black character. Everybody likes Sam Wilson as the Falcon. Everybody liked Blade. Nobody knew who Blade was until Wesley Snipes did an awesome performance. So just make up new black characters. Make up new women characters. Race swapping, gender swapping, sex swapping. It's so freaking stupid. It's lazy. And to me, it's proof that these people who change the character don't have faith in. So if Superman needs to be black for the next movie. Why? So we could get black representation. So make a new black superhero. Yeah, but we don't want to do the work. Nobody's going to buy that. Okay, so you don't have faith in your creativity to make a new character or black characters in general. You just have to piggyback. I call it stolen gravitas. I just hate it. I just hate it. It's just, it's laziness at best, racist at worst. It's just so stupid. I mean, I don't want to say like a little black kid can't, like, I want to be Superman, be Superman, playing Superman. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like, he grows up all his life, wants to be Superman. Oh, you can't be Superman because you're black. Well, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I could understand that way of thinking, but like, Superman is a white guy. So I have no problem. You want to be Superman? Put makeup on. be a black actor. You're a freaking actor. I don't know. Make up a new character. Make up new characters. Where am I? Okay. All right. So I draw a card. Reed is in the spot with the SuperSkrull. I got to put this card here. Okay. So Reed has whatever and where's Johnny Storm? All right. So I got to play Reed. All right. Reed has 2 wild actions. He's going to use that to clear away these crisis tokens. So now the SuperSkrull is vulnerable to damage. Okay. He gets to use all the tokens on this, so he hits him for 1. Then we put this on. So all of the words on the card you could use in any order. Okay. So he's using a little bit of teamwork. All right. And now he has a movement token. He could move. I'm going to move him over here only because he could still attack in the next location, and the SuperSkrull's not going to be there. So I'm hedging my bets that the SuperSkrull is going to go here or stay here or here. All right, because he's not going to go here. He only moves in one direction. And I get to draw another card for ending his turn at the Baxter Building. This is the last card of the game. If I don't defeat the SuperSkrull with this card, I don't defeat the SuperSkrull. So if I play the Invisible Woman, she does nothing but move. So I'm not going to play her. her. Oh, man, Ben Grimm. So he's got a teamwork card. So he could use all the actions on the so Ben's going to move in. He's going to hit the SuperSkrull for 1 because that's all the cards on the teamwork card. All right, and then we add another attack on the card. Now he has an attack and a movement. So now he hits the scroll, defeating him, and then he moves back home to the Baxter building for breakfast. And we win. Yes, we beat the SuperSkrull. Oh my God, literally on the last card. Literally on the last card. Oh my God. That was, talk about a claw biter. That was it. And I loved that it was Ben that came in and did the last attack because Ben's my favorite. That felt good. That was satisfying. And I'm looking, I think I played by all the rules. I think I played a perfect game. So I could, I think that's it. So I'm gonna I'll probably play again tonight. I got Chuck Dixon at 7 o'clock, and then after Chuck Dixon, I'll probably play again. But I'll probably play with a whole new set of characters. I really like this game, and it's really infinite variety. So let's answer the questions over here. Who's faster, the Flash or Quicksilver? Flash. The DC guys are always faster than, more powerful than the Marvel guys. Quicksilver was never supposed to be moving at the speed of light, which is why I like Quicksilver better. You know, Quicksilver is just supposed to be like super speed, meaning woo, 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 but he's not light speed. So I like Quicksilver better because he's not as powerful as the Flash. Hey, congratulations. Yes. So that's everything that's going on. So I'm going to end this video on an up. I finally beat the SuperSkrull, but man, did you see how tough it was? Oh man, was it tough. Now, playing solo really makes this game tough. You know, you get perfect cooperation, but you have, geez, so few hit points because your cards are your hit points. You draw 5 cards. Now, for when you play, you get 4 cards per player. So if I was playing with 4 people, that's 16 cards. That's 16 hit points. Wow. If you ask Chuck Dixon if he's ever going to release his Airboy run on Omnibus, yeah, I'll ask him. I really like that. It's funny because I got in on Airboy on issue 1, and you know I just love it. That was like I think his second professional comic book run. I think he did something before that. So it's funny that I got in on Chuck Dixon at the beginning. I have a fondness for the Airboy. It really is bizarre, but I'll ask him. And if you're in the chat, remind me. So I got Chuck Dixon today. Tomorrow I got 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Oscar Carano is going to do another drawing lesson. I think that's so much fun. Then 7 o'clock I got Adam Lawson. I've always seen Adam around. You know, I've seen his videos. He's a comic book guy. He's very animated. And then we were both on RJ's channel for Comic Book Team Up, and we just hit it off. The guy's a big board game, but I didn't know he was the director of Tabletop, a board game with Will Wheaton on YouTube. It was really the first time I saw YouTube with original content, you know, like made for you. And I thought it was like just like a weird, you know, thing, but I grew to really, really like it. I really enjoyed it. So that's going to be fun. So that's 7 o'clock tomorrow. And then at 8:30 tomorrow, it's clobbering time. We're gonna have Magic versus Raven. Magic from the X-Men and New Mutants versus Raven from the New Teen Titans. That should be fun. I don't think I have anything planned for Saturday. Sunday, I have a comic book team up. We're gonna do fantastic. We're gonna do Ghost Rider 35, Death Race by Jim Starlin, one of my favorite comics of all time. And then we start the week over again. I don't know what's going on next week. So there you go. Thanks a lot, everybody. This was a lot of fun. This was so satisfying. All right. I got to go do my OSHA stuff for work. All right. Bye-bye.